So I thought maybe 2 weeks after the Luka Doncic trade happened, I would just start to feel a little bit normalized about this blockbuster deal. And no, that's not the case. I still can't believe that this deal happened, and I still don't think Mavericks fans can fully accept that this deal happened either. Because since this deal went down, we've had multiple instances where Mavericks fans have been kicked out of the American Airlines Arena for either trying to start a Fire Nico Harrison chant, or maybe barking back at Mark Cuban, who's been attendance at some of these games since after Luka Doncic got traded. And Luka finally debuted against the Utah Jazz on Monday. It was a 10:30 game on the East Coast. This game didn't even start till 10:45, and its peak audience was 2.55 million viewers. Those are NBA Finals numbers for a regular season game. That's how many people wanted to tune in to watch Luka Doncic play for the LA Lakers. And it doesn't feel that Luka Doncic is at full strength right now. He's still nursing that calf injury, and it just doesn't look like he's playing at 100%. His impact was felt right away with his playmaking, his court vision, and his ability for defenses to focus up so much on him right now. But he's still playing on a minutes restriction throughout the All-Star break. And the Lakers went out, they made a trade that I didn't really talk about on this channel. They went out and got Mark Williams to get the center LeBron, Luka, and the rest of the Lakers need for their playoff push this year, because their center depth wasn't great with Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes, and asking Jared Vanderbilt to be a center at some times. But then the deal ended up getting nixed. There was a physical that showed multiple issues under the Lakers physical with Mark Williams. It was not failed due to Mark Williams' back, and it hasn't been disclosed what the reasoning for the failed physical was, but this was kind of a bummer. I thought this trade made great sense for both teams, and I thought both teams came out as a winner in this deal. For the Lakers, you get a 23-year-old center that is on year 3 of his rookie contract, and he was a late lottery pick, so he is not making a lot of money right now whatsoever. Mark Williams has been putting up 15.5 points this year, 9.5 rebounds, and is shooting 58% from the field since coming back from injury, because he was hurt to start off the year. And Mark Williams allowed the Lakers to have this fully athletic 23-year-old that can run and catch alley-oops, that can set screens and work the pick and roll with LeBron James and Luka Doncic. And you just gotta feel bad for Mark Williams, because ever since he got drafted, the Hornets have been one of the worst teams in the NBA, and you get to go from Charlotte, one of the smallest markets in the NBA, to Los Angeles, the biggest market, and you're gonna make so much money playing with Luka Doncic and LeBron James, who we've seen elevate and raise center's ability plenty of times in the past, and now that is not happening anymore, and you got to go back to Charlotte. You got to go now play for the team that doesn't even want you, that wanted to trade you at the deadline. And for the Lakers, they gave up a 2030 pick swap and a 2031 first round pick. I'd like to assume the Lakers with Luka Doncic are going to be better than the Charlotte Hornets in 2030, so I don't really think that swap is going to hurt them too much, and they do give up a 2031 first round pick. But hey, I would give up those first round picks as well. Luka Doncic is 25. You're probably going to be good in 2031 with Luka and Mark Williams, so I don't think you were going to lose sleep over trading away that 2031 first round pick. And you sell high potentially on Dalton Connect, who's already 23 years old, the same age as Mark Williams, and Mark Williams has been in the NBA for 3 years. As for the Hornets, I also like this trade a ton for them too. I'm sad that it didn't go through, just because I think they were selling high on Mark Williams, who's had plenty of injury concerns in the past. You get a good complementary shooter in Dalton Connect to help space the floor next to your 2 young stars in LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, and then you also get a little bit of draft capital down the line, and you weren't going to probably pay Mark Williams a decent amount of money throughout your rebuild or feel good about that. We saw what the Washington Wizards did with Denny Avdia. They got Denny back on a really good contract, but they realized by the time Denny's going to be owed for his next contract, we're going to be finally done with our rebuild, and we're not going to commit a ton of money to him. So let's trade him right now while his value is at an all-time high, and that's what Charlotte did with Mark Williams. So I really thought it was a win-win trade. I'm sad it didn't go through, and the Lakers had to pivot to getting Alex Len with a veteran minimum. They can get another veteran minimum as well, but we know that the talent pool is very thin, and it's not great. Mark Williams was by far and away the best option they could have had at the deadline, so I do think Jackson Hayes is going to have to play a big role for the Lakers throughout the second half of the season. As for the Dallas Mavericks side of things, it has probably not been off to the start they would have liked after taking this colossal risk, and they were going to take a colossal amount of backlash to the image of Jason Kidd and Nico Harrison, where in their first game, they did an electric win against the Houston Rockets. Anthony Davis got off to an electric start as well, where he had 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks, all on 55% shooting in the first 31 minutes. But then, like we've seen in the past with Anthony Davis, he suffered a major injury. It was an abdominal injury, and Anthony Davis is expected to miss multiple weeks and potentially up to a month. Not what the Mavericks wanted to hear with all of this going down. Derek Lively's already hurt. Daniel Gafford is going to miss some time. They basically have no centers that could play quality minutes for them right now on their roster. And this is a team that is 29-26. They did have a big win against the Golden State Warriors in their final game before the All-Star break, but they are the 8th seed right now. They were supposed to go on a run with Anthony Davis and the way Kyrie Irving has been playing, some of the best basketball of his career, but right now they're just a half a game up on the Kings as the 8th seed. They're a game and a half up on the Warriors. They're 2.5 games up on the Suns and 3.5 games up on the Spurs. So you never know what happens if this team does go on a losing streak right after the All-Star break. They could fall a little bit. And I know that these teams do not want to play 2 road games in the play-in tournament. You do not want to be the 10th seed. And if you're the 9th seed as well, you got to win 2 games to go up against the Oklahoma City Thunder in round 1. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at that 2 seed. Even if it ends up being Denver, I think teams are going to think that's a little bit more winnable and achievable of pulling off the upset than getting the 8th seed and having to beat the Thunder in a 7-game playoff series in round 1. It's also crazy that after all of this, Mavs fans have had so much backlash towards the Dallas Mavericks organization as a whole, and the team is responding to the fans that are canceling their season tickets with refunds after the Luka Doncic trade. That's how bad this has been so far. Fans have been protesting outside the arena every single day since this trade happened, and I'm sure Nico Harrison and the front office and the ownership group of the Dallas Mavericks expected this to be somewhat of a controversial move with the fan base, but I'm sure they didn't expect the backlash to be like this, because it's truly something we have never seen before in the NBA. We saw how upset Timberwolves fans were when they traded away Karl Anthony Towns in the offseason. This is on a different level. This is like the Cleveland Cavaliers traded away LeBron James in 2006, or if the LA Lakers traded away Kobe Bryant, or maybe the Bucks traded Giannis, or the Nuggets traded Jokic before they ever won a title, and they were at 25 years old, the start of their prime. And after all this came out as well, Nico Harrison said that there wasn't ever an indication that Luka Doncic would have turned down the Supermax in the offseason, and they were worried about his weight and his conditioning. And some people have been reporting that the Mavericks thought that this could be a Joel Embiid situation over in Dallas. And what are we doing? Just what are we doing? It still doesn't make sense 2 weeks later. I still don't get the idea of the trade that went down. They want to say that defense wins championships and this is a win now move. Well, I don't get how trading away your all NBA caliber guard at 25 years old is making a win now move. That is win now. Having Luka Doncic on your team is a win now mindset, and they made this insane trade. And I don't even know if the fan base will be okay with this deal, even if they won a championship in 2025. And the odds are going to say that is going to be tough for them to do. As right now, they are plus 4,800. They have the 10th best odds to win the 2025 NBA title. They are behind the LA Clippers, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Memphis Grizzlies in terms of odds to win the NBA championship. So there's going to be a lot that needs to go right for the Dallas Mavericks. They need to get Derek Lively back fully healthy. Anthony Davis needs to be healthy, something we haven't really said that many times in his career. Last year, he did play 75 games. This year, he's had a few bang-ups, but has been relatively healthy, and now he's got his first serious injury. And of course, for the Mavericks, it happened in their first game with him out there, where it was fun. It looked like finally we just forgot about Luka Doncic for a little bit in Dallas, and we were focused on Anthony Davis and him being a top 15 player in the NBA and what he could provide for the Dallas Mavericks, and how he's out for a month. So I feel like a lot has gone wrong for the Dallas Mavericks since this deal went down. I still can't believe it ended up happening. I want to know your guys' thoughts about this deal around 2 weeks later. Does it make any more sense for the Dallas Mavericks side of things? Do you think the Lakers robbed the Dallas Mavericks? Still using hindsight on this deal? Let me know down below. Drop a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy the video, and subscribe if you are not already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.